Hey, this is Matthew Cavana from Living Bridges Counseling and Coaching, and I want to talk today about conscious conception for men, male pregnancy, if you will. And I want to encourage men to think about this time before you actually physically conceive um, as your own pregnancy. To think about the time as you're preparing yourself or considering becoming a father as a time that the baby's spirit and soul is ripening within you. Uh, when my wife was pregnant with our daughter, it was hard for me in the very beginning to have my baby in my wife's body. It was vulnerable to have someone that I loved so much be under someone else's care. And I micromanaged my wife a lot, her behaviors in the beginning, out of an attempt to control or manage that fear and anxiety. Eat this, drink this, go to sleep now, don't watch that, those kinds of behaviors, because it was scary. And I realized over the course of the process that the best way to support my child was to support my wife, to support the child's mother. And that was the way that my love needed to get in. And I was thinking about this recently, working with some clients, and they're trying to conceive, and they're actively trying to conceive. And the father is understandably going through his own process about that, or the man who would become the father potentially. And there was a feeling of impatience on his wife's part, almost as though that her baby was in his body and it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to come to her until he decided to, give it up, so to speak. And they were already physically, trying to conceive. But in conscious conception, there is a little bit about that. It's like the more intention we bring to the process, the more our feelings and our thoughts matter and affect physiologically what happens. Now, it's not the sole contributing event, but it is, I believe, a factor in that. Babies get born all the time without any intention or consciousness around it, a quote unquote accidents. But I believe that we prepare for them and we start to engage with the soul of the child, that they inform us, literally inform us. And in my own case, I felt my child's energy come into my life over the course of years, almost as though it was a weather pattern, changing me, evolving me, helping me make certain decisions, move in certain directions, say no to things, say yes to other things, really long before I actually met my child's mother. And, that engagement with my child really served me to feel very prepared for their physical arrival. In a way, it wasn't just the beginning of a relationship, it was a continuation of a relationship. And I say this to clients as well, that we kind of become parents when we begin to consciously make space for our children in our lives. And I think for men, it's never too early to start making the space inside of yourself to become a parent. And there's a lot of internal, emotional, psychological, and spiritual changes, not to mention financial, physical, and whatnot, that we undergo as we prepare to become a parent. And this time before physical conception can be thought of as male pregnancy. And I really want to empower men to take that time for themselves and to treat it as sacred, to just the way I would encourage a pregnant woman to consider her pregnancy as this sacred time while she's bonding with her baby. She's allowing her life to change and align itself to the undeniable realities of her impending motherhood. The same thing for fathers, and that pregnancy time is kind of before the conception, more so in my opinion. In many indigenous cultures, it's traditional for a man to sort of hear the quote-unquote song of his unborn child, to hear their song and to share that song actually with that child's mother. The man sort of catches the spirit or soul of the baby and brings it through their own body and implants that within the soil, to speak metaphorically, of the mother. And that's been lost to a degree in our culture, and I think it's led to a lot of men feeling ungrounded and disempowered around the parenthood in general. And men have a huge and sacred role in conscious conception and conscious child raising. And I really want to help men reclaim that. And part of the ways that you can do that is to treat that time before you become a parent as your own pregnancy. And that can be before you even meet the mother of your child. to make space for them in your life, to allow their soul to move into your body, into your life, and to arrange things so that you can move with more courage and clarity along that path and do the necessary grieving and preparations to no longer be the most important part of your own life, which is a huge process for many men. It's hard to no longer be the center of your own life, to let something else be bigger than us, to be more important than us. It's challenging, and it's also one of the incredible rewards of becoming a parent. Um, so I offer this humbly to the men out there and to the wives and mothers and friends and sisters and uncles and everyone there that is in service to the emerging generations of children. And may this serve you. Have a great day.